Have y'all seen IshowSpeed's streaming in Africa so far? Now, before, I would never watch these streams, but what I'm seeing right now is exactly what we should be seeing. This is the best stream I have seen from him so far, right? When he got in Europe, they threw bananas at him. They did monkey impersonations and threw bananas at him multiple times. In Africa, where they're trying to say that these people are uncivilized, they have treated him better than anybody else have treated him. They were giving this man cotton and throwing bananas at him. And then you seen people literally trying to defend this, talking about something that happens everywhere. No, it doesn't. It happens with Europeans and descendants of Europeans. That's where it happens a lot. It is being a racist is not a normal action.
For decades, a deeply flawed narrative has shaped how the world perceives Africa. It's been flattened into a caricature, portrayed as a single poor country made of huts, mosquitoes, and endless dry land. That image didn't come from nowhere. It was manufactured, repeated, and reinforced through outdated documentaries, selective news coverage, and a media system that profits from showing Africa only at its worst. Generation after generation was fed the same narrow picture until it hardened into common knowledge. But that propaganda is finally cracking. When streamer IshowSpeed began touring the continent and broadcasting what he was actually seeing, many Americans, especially Black Americans, were caught completely off guard. The reactions ranged from disbelief to shock, and in many cases, tears, because what they were watching didn't line up with what they had been told their entire lives. They weren't seeing despair, they were seeing life. They discovered that Africa is not one place, but a vast and diverse continent made up of dozens of nations, each with its own culture, language, economy, and identity. They saw modern highways filled with luxury cars and electric vehicles, skyscrapers cutting into the skyline, nightlife buzzing with music, fashion, and confidence, cities pulsing with ambition, creativity, and momentum. For many viewers, it felt like a revelation, like stumbling upon something familiar, yet stolen from them. As one person put it, some places out there just scream home to your soul. And then there was something even deeper, watching a Black man from the United States step onto the continent and be treated with warmth, respect, and humanity hit a nerve. Not because Africa was doing something extraordinary, but because so much of the Black experience in the West has been defined by fighting for that same basic dignity. This is what people fought for during Jim Crow. This is what fueled slave revolts. The right to exist without apology, to walk freely, to be seen as fully human. It's about being able to return to a home you've never been to and be unapologetically Black, natural hair, brown skin, no code switching, no fear of being racially profiled just for existing.
Y'all probably wondering why I'm crying. I've been watching Speed streams, and I'm seeing all the love that he's getting in Angola. He's in South Africa, and he's getting massive amount of love. And the way that he was treated in Europe was disgusting. But to see him be a Black man from the United States of African descent and be able to go back to the continent and be treated like a human by civilized African people, when we've been taught that Africa is primitive, that it's dangerous, don't go back, they have this, they have that, they don't want you, they don't like you. And to see an African American man with his stature go back to the motherland and be treated with so much respect. This is what our people fought for. This is what they fought for when they fought against Jim Crow and segregation. This is what the slave revolts were about. This is what it's always been about. Is to be able to go back home to a home that you've never been and be unapologetically Black and not have to think about being Black. Just being able to have your natural hair and your brown skin and not be judged. and not be racially profiled and not be killed. I love the love that he is getting. And I love the love that all of my African American people are getting in the continent. And I know there's a lot of issues. I know there's a lot of things that need to be worked out. But I'm so proud. I'm so proud. And I love that for him. And I love that for all of my people that are over there. And I can't wait to hit the soil and experience it myself.
Africa is one of the most blessed continents on Earth, rich not only in gold, oil, gas, and diamonds, but in people, culture, and resilience. It is one of the fastest urbanizing regions in the world, with nearly half its population living in cities. The scale alone is mind-bending. The continent is so massive that you could fit 3 United States inside it and still have room left over. Yet for years, it's been spoken about as if it was small, helpless, or behind. That narrative was never accidental. The idea of Africa as poor or incapable was shaped by colonial history and sustained by a global media system that amplifies tragedy while ignoring progress. Africa was never backward. It was interrupted. Long before colonization, African kingdoms thrived with complex systems of governance, trade, and education. Cities like Timbuktu were global centers of knowledge, while much of Europe was still finding its footing. That history didn't disappear, it was buried. Today, a new chapter is writing itself. African cities are redefining innovation, entrepreneurship, art, and tech. Young populations are building futures at a pace the world can't afford to ignore. But you wouldn't know that if your only exposure to Africa comes from headlines about famine, war, or aid. That's why moments like this tour matter. They humanize and modernize Africa in real time. They don't sanitize it, but they tell the truth. They challenge everything people thought they knew and force a harder question. What else have we been wrong about? How much of what we believe was handed to us instead of discovered for ourselves? For too long, people have been conditioned to think America is the center of the world. But the world is bigger and the roots go deeper. Africa doesn't need validation. It has always existed with or without outside approval. But representation matters. Visibility matters. Truth matters. The energy is shifting back toward the motherland. And this time, the world isn't looking away.
Man, this whole time, bro, they made us fucking think Africa was such a poor country, bro. Such a place you wouldn't want to be at, bro. And Speed is single-handedly changing my perspective on life. Like the music in Africa, the culture, everything, just every single aspect of Africa just makes my insides feel so good, bro. And it makes me just want to leave America. Bro, I feel like America is the trap. America is the trap. The American dream is the trap. Everybody else is free, but not free from America. America's the problem, bro. America's the fucking problem. And I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. Like, Speed, thank you, bro. Thank you.
IshowSpeed's journey through Africa proves this so-called divide between Black Americans and Africa, it was never real. It was only misrepresented. Go ahead and follow this page. I'm about to break something down. Last year, there were a lot of online conversations pitting Black Americans against Africans. Africans claim we didn't know where we came from and we didn't know our tribe. And Black Americans explained after being in America for 400 years, America is our tribe. I even did a video. Check this clip.
We are natural born American citizens. We've been here for 4 or 5 centuries, 400 years plus, and we still not identifying as Americans? We're not Africans. That's why they come over here and they feel so comfortable with disrespecting us, because they think they super Africans, right? And we the little peon Africans because they got the direct source of the motherland and they know where they come from and they roots and all that stuff. Of course you do. 1 generation ago, you got here yesterday. You are the true African American Africans. Y'all come here from Ghana, from Senegal, from wherever, Ethiopia, whatever. Y'all come here and you get your citizenship or plant your roots, whatever. You're Africans - Americans, African Americans. Black Americans are not Africans. I don't have no Africans in my family. Period. I'm from California. My dad is from California. My grandma's from Wichita, Kansas. My great-grandma's from Wichita, Kansas. I can go back generations of Americans.
I felt angry that Black Americans were being attacked because I know we are so much more than our tribe of origination. And now to see streamer IshowSpeed visiting Africa, going to all of the different countries, he is showing the generosity and the big heart that Black Americans have towards Africa and Africans. This guy has a huge platform. He did not have to go to Africa, but he made the choice to put Africa out there on an even bigger stage. That is the heart that most Black Americans have. And to that I say, many Black Americans do not identify with a tribe from Africa, but that doesn't mean that we don't have love for Africans. And so that's one to grow on. Let me know what you think. Peace. See you next time.
Let's talk about Speed's tour in Africa, and let's note and know that Africa is a continent, not a country, okay? So as a Black American who's into African culture, music, dances, love African people, I love learning about it. You can just go to my page. You can see that all I do on my page is dance to African music and support African music and dances. I love learning, and I am still learning. With that being said, all I gotta say is it's about damn time. And what I mean by that, it's about damn time that my Black American people open up their eyes and realize that the preconceived notions that you guys had about Africa are not true. The ignorant thoughts that you guys had about Africa. And we know what you guys thought about Africa. I don't even have to say it, okay? And to be honest, it shouldn't have took Speed going to Africa to make you guys realize and open up your eyes and learn something. Especially if you're a grown adult. And if you're a grown adult who still was having those preconceived notions and thoughts about Africa, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be really embarrassed, really. However, I am very happy that I see so many Black American people having so many positive things to say, and saying that I seen one guy crying and feeling bad about the way he thought. I've seen so many videos from my people, and they're really learning. So I'm very happy that this stream is making my people learn something and helping my people learn about Africa and not have those preconceived notions anymore and negative and ignorant thoughts and comments about Africa. I'm very happy that this is really changing us in a way. I hope that the stereotypes against Africa and African people can finally come to rest, and we can actually come together as Black people and as the whole Black diaspora come together, stop arguing, and actually heal. But yeah, that's all I had to say. And if you're still having negative stereotypes against Africa and African people in the big 2026, then you're just moo-moo, eh? If you know, you know. I'm not gonna say anymore. Yeah, okay? Bye.
Bro, Speed really changing the game for real. Like, I didn't know Africa was such a beautiful country. They got cars, they got water, they got Wi-Fi. Like, we was lied to. We was really lied to. The music in Africa is just so beautiful. I used to think the only song in Africa was Waka Waka by Shakira. And to find out, they got DeVito. The US government really brainwashed us, bro. We need to go back to our brothers and sisters. Like, I really thought everybody in Africa speaks like this. And the best part of all, hear me out. Hear me out. You're not gonna believe this. They got more than one country. No, I'm not kidding. They got more. I thought it was just Africa. I really thought it was just Africa. I'm like, don't cancel me for this, but I low-key thought they live in huts. I like, you know, that's just what they teaches us. Like,
if you watch Speed go to Africa and your biggest takeaway was that, oh my God, it's not just huts and mud, that's not awareness, buddy. That is straight ignorance. That image of Africa, it didn't come from nowhere. It came from what you were taught, what you never questioned, and what you were always comfortable believing. Shame on you, bro.